It was somehow inexplicably enough. Those things happened because I was able to be there. I was fully present with no particular future to mentally escape into. I don't know how to, quantify that against a retirement account. Maybe it doesn't balance out. Maybe the math just doesn't work. And I've been rationalizing this for 35 years or whatever. But I was there for it, and it gave me what I needed to do what I had to do. And I think that counts for something, even if I can't quite describe what that is. So here's something that I figured out pretty early in life. Death is coming for everyone at any time. You don't know when it's going to be. And it's probably going to be inconvenient when it happens. Of course, this is not breaking news or anything. I realize, but it's the kind of thing that most people, they know this intellectually, and then they proceed to spend the rest of their lives actively trying to not think about it, which of course creates all kinds of problems under the surface throughout your life. And, but it is understandable because I know it's a lot to carry around. However, when you do reach that point, if you do reach that point where your mortality finally actually does truly sink in, when you really sit with the fact that this is happening and the clock is running there's no extensions available, no appeals process, it does something to your priorities. At least that's what it did to me. And I know that it's not normal for a kid to have an awareness of mortality like that. But for whatever reason, I did. And I started thinking about the actual situation that we are in as human beings. We're on a speck of rock that's spinning at absurd speeds through an incomprehensibly large amount of nothing. And on this rock, for reasons that nobody has satisfactorily explained, we developed consciousness, which, depending on how you look at it, that's either the greatest gift in the universe or it's some kind of terrible cosmic error. And so, given all of that, spending the one life that I was issued, being terrified of judgment, arranging everything around what other people, arranging everything I was going to do around what other people thought and expected of me, that started to seem like a strange allocation of the time available. Because I came to this conclusion that there's no award for being the most accomplished and flawless, successful corpse in the graveyard. I mean, in all likelihood, nobody at your funeral is going to mention your job title with the reverence that you were hoping for. And, wherever you spent your life carefully building and, maintaining whatever it was that you were trying to do, none of that is coming with you. Now, I'm not saying I've got the mortality thing all worked out. I don't really, but I think understanding it early enough in life, it informed me of some decisions. That might be the one thing that this unconventional life gave me that I couldn't have gotten any other way. I guess something closer to clarity about what it was actually worth being afraid of. And it wasn't failure. That's not really what I was afraid of. For me, I was afraid of getting to the end of my life and realizing that I'd been waiting the whole time. And by waiting, I mean waiting to feel ready to do the thing. Waiting for the version of life that was supposed to start once everything settled down, once all the ducks were lined up. Except the thing is, everything never settles down. And that's not meant to be a cynical observation. That's just accurate. So you might as well just be here, for good or for bad, in the unsettled version, which is really the only version there is. And doing the thing that feels like yours, even if it costs whatever it costs, even if the math doesn't really work out. And, the financial picture remains, as I previously noted, impressionistic. Well, I guess that's all I've got today on that topic. So, with that, maybe go make some coffee or something, or maybe notice what the light is doing, or whatever your thing may be. It won't last long, but, then again, neither will anything else. So, you're in good company. Thanks so much for listening.